What's up, Shantastic Gang? I hope you're ready for another lesson. I really do. We back up in this thing. So, first, I would just like to say to you, don't you wonder why you ain't getting no views on your story? Are you wondering why? Why are people not tuning in to me? Well, it's because you're boring. I'm gonna be honest with you. You probably say, I'm not boring. I got just as much to say as the next person over here. Well, how come that you're always on your phone going to their story, tapping on their story, liking their story? What is it about them that is so appealing? And today I'm going to let you know that it's the storytelling. You're invested in that story. You're invested in that life, and you're willing to listen to what they have to say for whatever amount of time that you have in a day. So today, I'm so glad to be teaching you about storytelling. Okay, if you take a picture, if you pay attention to the board or you look at the board, today storytelling says storytelling is story delaying. You have three parts to a story. You have the beginning, the middle, and the end. Okay, so on my journey of doing research about storytelling, I was on the internet and I'm like, why do I always click on Beyonce's story? Or why do I always click on T.S. Madison's story? Why do I always click on Dr. Umar's story? So today I'm going to give you an example of why I always click on T.S. Madison's story, because she is such an inspiration to me. I resonate with her life, her experience, the way that she grew up, the way that she sees certain things in the world. I agree with that experience. So whatever she has going on, I aspire to have some of that likeness, some of that personality, some of that wisdom that she has invoked through the experiences in her life. So I pay attention to the storytelling that she does all the time. And if you pay attention to your favorite person who probably goes on live, people like I Am Zoe, who else? All these bloggers, people who are doing all this talking, we're invested in the storytelling. We invest into the story. Okay, so what a lot of people know is in the first 30 seconds when you're recording a video story or any format of content, that in the first 30 seconds, that's the only time that you have to grasp your audience attention. And honestly, I'm going to be 100% with you. I've got a new book called The Hook Point. And The Hook Point says you can lose someone's attention in the first 3 seconds. But that's going to be another video. Okay, so if you pay attention to the timeline up here, it says in the first 30 seconds, you need to capture someone's attention. Then you need to give them the call to action. Meaning like, okay, you introduce the characters and you're saying, okay, what's the problem? How can we move forward and solve that issue? So right now, we've introduced the characters and stuff in the first 30 seconds. The people, now we're introducing the problem. So now the topic, what's going on and how did it happen? Whatever the character or the main character protagonist is experiencing, how did it happen and what happened? Okay, next is the most important. This is where you provide the value, the meat and the potatoes of the conversation. Meaning like this is, I want to say, the climax of the situation, and the character is fighting the main villain, and the main story, you're finally getting a synopsis of what the character has learned throughout this journey. What's the lesson overall? Okay. So next, you're going to get to the call to action and tease. So that's like if you have another video, you can lead into information into another video. So like how I was just saying, my next video about the hook, the hook point, that's literally giving a tease to the next situation. And then you end that storytelling. So just like, my example with T.S. Madison, she has live streams, sometimes every Sunday, and she's letting us know, hey, I'm going to be, going live with Craig or whoever, on Fad Talk or whatever, whatnot on this day. And then let you know, okay, boom, I'm looking to expect T.S. Madison and whoever her co-host is to go live on this day so I can see them again, so I can talk to them again, so I can experience that dopamine of seeing somebody that I like and feel like they understand me. Okay? So I'm going to get real generic, and I might not be in the camera anymore, but I hope you can see the board. It's always 3 parts to a story. You always know that since you were growing up when you were reading books, that it's a beginning, middle, and end to a story. Okay? So in the beginning, you need to establish the characters and establish the beginning of the journey. In the middle, you need to be establishing the conflict, establishing, the training or whatnot, whatever the character is going through, the character development, all those type of things. And the conflict of the main issue So when the explosion, basically, okay, the big fallout, the fight, all of that goes into the middle, and in the end, the resolve. You're letting us down easy, and you're moving forward to the end, right? The conclusion. Okay, so different techniques to be a good storyteller. You need to start right in the action. A lot of us, I will just give an example of my content. When I first started, I was trying to give an introduction into my life and all this kind of stuff. And yes, that's good and dandy, but me trying to tell you about my life, you already swiped over to the next video. Nobody cares. They have their own life. They're trying to bring value to their life, either eat on their lunch break or, do something to kill their time. And they don't want something that's boring. So that's why I say start right into the action. Number 2, show, don't tell. So this is another thing. I could have got right on this camera and just been talking straight to you, about storytelling and done my best in describing what storytelling is to me. But I know that it's so many people that learn different ways, and I know that I learn different ways, and sometimes some people need to see it in order to get it, not just hear it. And some people need to write it to understand. Like me, I'm one of those people who need to write it to understand. I can't think. It's called a tactile learner, and sometimes I'm good with verbal things too. But that's why I reassure myself. I write it, read it, and explain it. That's the best way that you grabs the point of a subject. Woo. Okay, sorry. I'm breathing all on the mic. I know it's gonna be loud, but I'm doing this, so I can become comfortable eventually next, to be talking to people and talking to a room full of people. Okay, so next you're gonna use dialogue like we're doing right now. Having a conversation. It's easy to carry a conversation with someone and not feel like you're being pressed to tell them a story, because conversations are stories. Number 4, make the audience forget about their worries and pains. That's what I was explaining earlier about sometimes when you're doing your content, sometimes people are indulging your content on their lunch break. Most of the time they're indulging, your content right before they go to bed or take a shower. It's so many things that people do in a day, and they just want to watch your video to relax and not sometimes always take things so seriously. So they're looking for comedic relief. They're looking for rise and fall, creating tension and gossip and all kind of stuff, because life is hard. So they need that little break, from your content. So that's why I say make your audience forget about their worries and their pains. Okay. So next, when I was doing this information, when I was doing my research, I kept finding this thing. It kept saying the hero's journey, the hero's journey, the hero's journey, and that's what I have up here. It's the most common. So in the hero's journey, they have a 3-step thing that they like to talk about, which is the departure, the initiation, and the return. So like I said, the same thing as the beginning, middle, and end. You establish the characters, you create tension, you create the problem, and then you create the resolve. That's basically how you tell the story. I just mentioned the hero's journey because every single YouTuber or blog or article that I was reading was talking about the hero's journey. Number 2, the future pacing. Show them life when I saw the client's issues. So basically, you already reaching to the future. You saying, hey girl, hey, look, listen, after I show you this storytelling right here, in less than 30 minutes, baby, you're going to be able to explain storytelling to anybody at the most basic level. That's my goal, literally. So number 3, the troublemaker. Everything is going right, and then you flip the audience upside down. So the troublemaker, it's like, literally, that's the most basic way to explain it. Everything is going right, and then, then you give a twirl. So it's like, okay, boom. I grew up, my parents loved me. I'm working at the candy shop. Everything good. I got my degree. Candy shop get robbed. I got shot. Go to the hospital. Then, I get wounds or whatever, or get stitches, and I stop working at the candy shop. The shooting and the robbing of the store was what flipped the audience on his heels. But if you watch that in the movie, you will see the breakdown of the child growing up, having a good background, getting a degree, and then it's like, now they get flipped on their head about the store getting robbed, them getting shot, and have to get stitches. Okay, I hope that makes sense. So, like I was explaining from the beginning, what you want to do is your biggest goal. What you want to do is create tension. Create tension. right? The most thing we know about that is sexual tension. When you with somebody that you like and you just like, dang, I wonder what it's like. I really wonder what it's like to do the bomb.com with you. And it keeps you on the edge of your seat. That's why people like to create tension. Then, like I said in the beginning of this video, most retention is gone in 30 seconds. So you need to be having that hook ready to be intriguing, be interesting, and go ahead and get that video started so you can get that watch time up. Again, reiterating that the first 30 seconds are crucial. Okay? So if you want to be successful, and I'm sorry, I forgot number 4. Before and after the bridge, have the audience focus on life after you help. Really, I didn't go over that one too much because it's kind of like the same thing in number 2. So let's go on down to stick to a central theme, evoke wonder, embrace change, and use personal experience. Okay, so why we using stick to a central theme is because your audience knows you for a certain purpose and they come to you for a certain feeling, right? So let's just say I'm of an LGBTQIA background who comes from a lower income household, who has just struggled to get where I am today, to be teaching in front of you. And some people love that story and it's appealing for certain audiences. So I need to stick to that overall theme about financial wealth and teaching people how to learn on social media because that's my brand. And we went over brands, earlier in our series. Okay, so you have to stick to a central theme when you're trying to build your audience, your group, and who you're teaching. Also, you have to evoke wonder. Like I said, creating that tension. Like, what's so interesting about this person? Why am I keep coming back to their page? Why am I just so hooked on this person? What is it about them that attracts me to them? Right? What is the pull? Embrace change. The way that I look at this is everything isn't going to be perfect. Like, nobody has perfect lives. I'm not a millionaire, so things are going to change. I lived in my apartment for 15 months and I was so afraid to film my first video back, home with my parents because my audience was so used to an environment that I built, for them to see on a constant, with that platform. So now I feel a little bit more confident, now that I psyched my mind. I was like, Shamar, like, you got to keep making videos. Everything is not going to be perfect. You're not going to be able to always show them the upside of you, or your content is going to be limited. So you have to embrace that change and show your audience, hey, I'm human just like you. And I go through things that, everyone goes through. So you have to show them that you're human and you have to embrace your change. And that leads me right into use personal experience. Literally, if people feel like that you're unattainable, and I'm gonna use Beyonce as an experience. Use Beyonce as an example. Beyonce and Rihanna. When it comes to Sacred and what is Fenty Hair, okay, a lot of people complain about the sales of Sacred because Beyonce isn't as personable because she doesn't come on the internet as well as Rihanna to entertain her fans. So they feel like that is why her hair care doesn't do as well as Rihanna, because Rihanna is more personable online. So Fenty is going to sell more than Sacred because Rihanna has more of a relationship with her fans, online than Beyonce does. So that's how we know that she uses personal experience in order to sell her products. I hope that made a lot of sense. So the key to virality, I'm sorry, I cannot talk. The key to virality is 3 F's, right? It's the fun, the facts, the feelings. These are the 3 things that you want to make sure that every viewer is having while they're experiencing your content. Is the fun, the facts, and the feelings. So you want to make sure that your viewer is always having fun. They are having some type of jokes or relating to your content in some type of way. You want to make sure that you're always being factual so that your viewers are not only listening but believing what you're saying. And number 3, you want to evoke some type of emotion and feeling to make sure that your viewer or audience member is always coming back and has some type of attachment to you so they can relate to you and always feel like they're a part of your journey. So with all that being said, these are the key steps to storytelling and keeping people engaged and keeping people involved in your content. So I hope that helped you, and I hope that in the most basic way you know how to storytell. So let's go back over it. So this is the calendar right here. In the first 30 seconds, you want to make sure that you grasp your audience attention. You want to make sure that you create tension and having a call to action. Then you want to introduce your topic, what happened to your character and how it happened to your character. You want to then create value. Your meat and potatoes of your situation. Make sure that you very much in detail go over who your character is, the character development, and the issues that they're facing and why they're facing this conflict. And then towards the end, you want to have a call to action again and a tease to the next chapter in your story, because your story isn't over. Most of these platforms want you to stay on there and keep your audience on there as long as you can. So make sure that you're doing that. Remember that storytelling is just story delaying over time. Remember, stories have beginnings, middles, and end. And your whole life is a story. And you're going to have a story as long as you're breathing. So make sure that you're taking along people with it in the beginning, middle, and end. Again, techniques. Start writing the action. Show, don't tell. Use dialogue and make your audience forget their worries and pains. You want to make sure that you're sticking to a central theme. You're invoking wonder, embracing change, and using personal experience. Always make sure that you're making sure that your audience are having the 3 F's: fun, facts, and feelings, and you'll always make viral story content. So I'll see you all guys later. Guys and gals later, Shamtastic Game. All right, let me know if you have any questions. Make sure, if you like this, make sure you get down in the comments and let me know what else you want me to talk about. How can I help? Anything. Know that I have consultations available and Shamtastic Productions at myyahoo.com. So make sure to hit my email if you can. They're free right now, so get them while they're free, because eventually they will become $100 for consultations, because we're taking this message to the whole world and it's not going to be available forever. All right. Now I have to ask you, can you like this video? Can you tap notification bell? And if you like everything I have to say, or like some of the things, or it simply is intriguing you or causing questions for you to ask your family, friends, or anybody around you, I ask that you share this video with everyone you know, your mommy, your daddy, your auntie. Make sure you tap the notification bell, and make sure you like this video and leave a comment or something down so people can discuss what you're about to say.